Welcome back to the Green Attack Path Local Privilege Escalation. This is video number 2 for IT420. And we had just barely downloaded to the web server the LinPeas tool that will return results for privilege escalation. Currently those results are on the file system on the web server, so I want to download them to Kali so I can interpret them. So I'm going to split my screen really quick with MOBA Xterm. So on bottom is the compromised web server, on top is my Kali web server. So I'm going to do a wget on the web server, PWeGo, in the upload directory, in the hidden directory. It's not going to be hidden in the logs any longer. And then I'm going to output that to Kali. And it should download just fine. Now I'm going to go back and remove these files. But I'm going to leave my reverse shell open. So I can adjust the real estate here. And now I'm going to type more on the results.txt, and it looks like a garbled mess because they have a picture of I think it's a turtle in the beginning of this tool, so you just kind of have to space through it. But then it talks about your legend here and the coloring that you'll see throughout the report. Red and yellow means a 95% potential escalation vector. So pay attention to those. Red, you should look at it, and the other colors are important. So as you scroll down, for this local privilege escalation, we're looking for the set UID. However, it's good to know that the sudo version may be out of date and vulnerable. Old present working directory, my current present working directory. Some vulnerabilities that I could utilize. Here's some exploit suggester information. I'm just going to kind of scroll down. Here are some services that are running, and I could evaluate the services for vulnerabilities. There's the listeners up above. My network adapters, what is listening, what am I connected to? That can provide hints of what I need to be doing or looking at in the future. Super users, that lists all the users as if looking at the past WD file. The last logins to identify if someone's still logged in. Still going down. Here it's running Apache. SSH config in the event there's vulnerabilities there or vulnerabilities introduced. Keyrings, past WD files. INI files, bind files. MySQL configuration files, bash RC. Now we get to the SWID files. And as I was talking about before, you'll see RWS. RxRx. This is a SWID file that will assume the privileges of root to execute this task. And we notice that dash is highlighted. That's a 95% chance that we found something that's vulnerable. So we come up to our browser, and we want to go to the website GTFO bins, as talked about in the presentation. And we want to search for dash, and then select it. And just quickly reading this site, it looks like if we run dash -p, it will use the privileges of root and provide us a shell. So let's go ahead and attempt that. If we come down here to our shell, we can do dash -p. And it brings us an empty prompt, and we say, who am I? And we're root. So let's go back to the PowerPoint. did I do? No. Now we've escalated privileges using the -setuid application. And now we want to create ourselves a user account that we can use for SSH pivoting in the future if we need to, or for access. So to create the user account, we could do user add user or add user. However, in this particular shell, we don't have the ability to interact with prompting. So what we need to do is we need to create a user account and send the password on the command line. So with the user add command, and you can run this on Kali, you can say user add and look at the man page. And in the man page, there is a command line switch called -p, which allows you to send an encrypted password in the add command. So we're going to do just that with these root privileges. So we're going to say, copy this because I have it on another screen. User add, I'm going to use OpenSSL to encrypt the password, ugly password, for the user account that I'm creating called Gary. I hit enter. I don't get feedback that the user account was created, but if I do cat etc passwd, I see that the Gary account was created. I can also do cat etc shadow, and I can see that a password was assigned for the Gary account. Is this a secure hash? Absolutely not. I would choose a better hash if it was me. Okay, now we have a user account created. We can come back to our Kali box, and I'm going to say SSH Gary at 10.27.20.66, which is the IP of the compromised web server. Yours will be different for the lab. Then it prompts me for the password, and I know it's ugly password. And I hit enter, and now I am authenticated, and I have an interactive shell. So the next step of the next video, we're going to talk about SSH keys. So when we come back in video 3, we will do that. See you in a little bit.